Greetings, this is William Jackson. I am the CEO of MetaverseWP, and I'm so excited about this collaboration with Zetech University in Nairobi, Kenya. This opportunity will be here to partake in a 5-week boot camp that's going to be held through Zoom and virtually. And we welcome the Zetech University staff and students that are in the Technology Club. Just starting out, we are in the process of developing a curriculum that we'll be using for my class or the boot camp starting February 1st, Thursday. This 5-week boot camp will extend to February 25th during the month of February. Here in the United States, we celebrate February as Black History Month, celebrating the wonderful achievements of Blacks, African Americans, and those of the African diaspora that have had a great influence here in the United States. And I'm looking forward to collaborating and combining our Black history with what we're doing with the boot camp with the Metaverse evolution. So as we go through this process, I'm going to be sharing some key information in this presentation for you, the students, and the faculty and staff at Zetech University to continue to collaborate with Metaverse, AI, VR, and other aspects of technology. So this boot camp, even though it's in Kenya, it's going to encompass the continent of Africa. If you do not know, Africa is the youngest continent in the world. And not only is it the youngest continent in the world, it is also the second largest behind Asia. So there's so much potential and there's so many opportunities to collaborate and work, not just in Kenya, but across the continent. My wife and I, Aida, we are members of the WordPress community, and WordPress manages 45 to 55% of the websites globally. But we also are speakers and organizers and teachers and volunteers in the WordCamp community. And we're honored to give the chance for youth, teens, and young adults across the continent to attend WordCamps and be able to sponsor them through scholarships. We have helped youth in Uganda, Nairobi, South Africa, Kenya, obviously, and other places globally. And we're just so proud and appreciative of the opportunity to work with phenomenal organizers and phenomenal volunteers in WordCamp conferences across the continent and globally. So when we're talking about the metaverse, the first consensus is that you have to have a headset, which you don't necessarily have to have a headset. You can use your laptop, you can use your tablet, you can even use your smartphone to be engaging in the metaverse, to interact in the metaverse. So this boot camp is an introduction. Hopefully we'll have some additional collaborations where headset or Oculus in some cases can be provided to the university either through sponsorships or donations so students can see the immersive aspects of the metaverse. So in this boot camp, we're going to be talking about the digital revolution and the evolution that has transpired and is happening. We're going to be blending the metaverse, AI, VR, MR, and web development and understanding what those terms are. Here you can see a picture of my wife and I speaking at the Asala conference here in Jacksonville, Florida in 2023, where we talked about Black history on the web and African history on the web. Because we have to understand we are in transformative times now, and the metaverse will change life as we know it, and it will change it forever. The access to information, the engagement, the use of technology is phenomenal and opens up multifaceted opportunities to collaborate. So in this boot camp, there's a little bit of information about myself and my wife. I'm a teacher of 33 years. I recently retired. We are certified VR educators. Our background is in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, math, and integrating the metaverse as educators and business owners. I'm honored to be a mentor in the ones, Black and Hispanic male educators here in Jacksonville that support male educators in their endeavors to be the best educator in their classrooms from elementary school to high school. I'm also a higher education instructor with several colleges. I'm also a former NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration instructor as well. So having those experiences and those backgrounds are very key and important. And we are part of the World Metaverse Council, which we work in providing metaverse education and learning opportunities through STEM and STEAM. I've been honored in 2023, starting 2024, as the World Metaverse Council Metaverse Education Program Director to collaborate with programs globally, particularly here in the United States and in Africa, to collaborate to provide trainings and workshops. So my wife is a university professor with Lenore Ryan in the area of DEI for the web, web adherence to accessibility for people that have, whether it's visual, audio, or mobility challenges, to make sure websites are compliant with the accessibility standards in the States and globally as well. And she is a STEAM educator and also part of the World Metaverse Council. She is also a recognized author and artist as well. So we bring a lot to the table. We bring a lot of resources to help youth, teens, and young adults grow and to help mentor businesses. Also, this is where you can connect with me on social media. My Twitter is My Quest to Teach. Instagram, My Quest to Teach, that is my brand. LinkedIn, it's William D. Jackson Blogger. And email, meta, myquest2teach@gmail. Now, you may see a couple other email addresses, but they all come to me. The website for the projects that we are working on virtually to create using the Spatial Gallery platform, Metaverse sites, is MetaverseWP.com to see the works that we continue to do and aspire to do. And of course, being on TikTok, it's funny, TikTok, you can find me on My Quest to Teach. Even though I've been involved in technology for quite a few times, it's always still room to learn and explore and expand because technology has global influences everywhere. There's no place really in the world that you can go to where it is not being touched by technology in some capacity. So some people are scared of it, some people are terrified, some people are even in denial, but there's more people that are inspired by it. They're motivated, they're encouraged because it allows them to be creative and innovative in the same capacity. There are wonderful and phenomenal changes coming in technology, and we have to embrace them and help the next generation see the use of technology in education and business and commerce, not just in gaming. But gaming is important as well because there is an area called gamification, which blends education and gaming. The global influences are people are able to connect, people are able to work together, people are able to establish relationships that are building communities. Even as I'm working here and recording this, you may hear background noise, which is cool because the environment around me is very enriching and engaging with things going on outside, things going on in our home with technology. So we're involved. We also understand that we are growing algorithms. We understand that algorithms help maintain order and assist in our search online for content, connections, and collaborations. Machine learning, machine thinking, machine rationalization is built on a binary structure, a binary foundation, to where it is thinking in numbers. While we as humans, we are more prone to the physical interaction, the auditory interaction, being able to see people's faces and expressions and mannerisms. But machines don't get into that just yet. That's where AI comes in. But communicating and interacting with technology is very key and important for our own growth and connections. We have AI, artificial intelligence, VR, virtual reality, Web 3, now there's Web 4, 5, and 6, the metaverse, which are immersive environments, whether they're learning or commerce or education, blockchain, there are multiple elements, cryptocurrency. As you can see by this slide, there are more things out there than we have room to put into these slides, but there's open room for discussion. Now, the metaverse, the concept was developed by Neil Stevenson. He is the author of the book Snow Crash. So when you have an opportunity from your local library or even purchase the book, Snow Crash talks about immersive environments that people will engage in, they will walk around in, they will have relationships, they will formulate communities and all those things that lead to a growing aspect of collaboration and cooperation. Africa needs to be prepared and continue to prepare its youth, teens, and young adults in understanding their place in the metaverse, their place to be able to collaborate, their place and to be able to develop businesses, to inspire and encourage and mentor entrepreneurs. Africa is a powerful and influential continent composed of 54 nations that then of themselves are powerful and influential. But the integration of technology and the evolution, and in some cases the revolution in education, must be respected, admired, and applied so that Africans across the continent can grow and they can expand their influence into multiple areas of learning. As you go through the slides with me, I'm going to be talking about areas of technology, but the content here is for you to read as well, because we're going to be covering a lot of this during our sessions together in the boot camp. What would a metaverse allow us to do? There are unlimited things that we'll be able to do: social planning, strategic development, digital collaborations that expand across nations, across the continent, and globally. Embracing diversity is very important too. We ought to be able to collaborate together. We ought to be able to, even though we have our differences, be able to work collectively together. The African diaspora has been colonized in so many multiple ways, and our resources have been used by others around the world through the course of time. It is time for Africans to collaborate with each other to grow the continent, to empower the continent. We must be able to teach and engage each other. I am all for global collaboration. I am all for global connections. I am all for global works together to build communities. But I'm also for the African continent to build itself influentially, economically, educationally, and in unity to keep those basic foundations of freedom and unity together. The focus and the clarity of what we're going to be doing is understand why you have a presence on the metaverse. It's not just getting on the metaverse to play games, but there's a reason why you should have a strategic plan of development. We have to learn how to scale the resources on the metaverse to use them and to apply in everyday life as metaverse avatars, growing and developing and using those resources. I think sometimes we forget or we lose sight of, if we look at the continent of Africa, how big it is. Looking at this graphic, the United States can fit in Africa, China can fit in Africa, India can fit into Africa. The enormity and the potential for growth and influence globally should never be forgotten. We have to understand that Africa is the foundation of the technologies that we enjoy today because of the work that was done in the past, particularly in science, particularly in mathematics, particularly in philosophy, particularly in the design model of thinking and engineering. All of this arguably came from Africa because of the structures that were built, the design and the collaboration. So how do we prepare for the future? Collaboration, education, using the tools for project development, and boot camps such as these to inspire young people. We have to remember that great content matters, not just quantity. I'll use TikTok as an example. People are making TikTok videos left and right, but how much content of that is worthwhile and beneficial? Where is the structure or the strategy to teach people how to do things, to share global situations and circumstances, to highlight social issues that need discussion and collaboration? Those are key areas that people are posting content on platforms like TikTok or YouTube videos or Snapchat or whatever you have, but you have to be mindful of the influences that it has on you mentally, psychologically, cognitively, and even emotionally. There needs to be a strategic and dynamic plan, being in an immersive environment, and what are you going to get out of it? What are you going to accomplish, particularly if you're a business owner and an entrepreneur? You have to run a social media plan that magnifies your brand and that magnifies the marketing abilities that you have. Again, we're not talking video games, but engagement, modeling, and positive interactive imagery. So if you see the true size of Africa, then you understand why people are running to and fro to Africa to get the resources. In my opinion, one of the best resources in Africa are its people. The people that have the ingenuity, the people that have the creativity, the people that had the innovation, um, that are creating dynamic things that we benefit socially, economically, even in education and politics. So Africans must not forget that their continent is the second largest, the youngest, and the most, if not the most influential in the world. There's going to be several takeaways from what we're doing about learning about new technologies, being adaptable as human beings in immersive environments in the metaverse, and applying what we're learning and what we're teaching each other. So even though being the instructor, I always encourage interaction with the students as well. Um, we each have a role to play as instructor and teacher. So my um, uh, my challenge to all the students is find something during the course of the boot camp that you can contribute to. This is not complete lecture. There are projects that you're going to have to do to build your skills and your ability to collaborate with each other. The Metaverse can be a useful content creative tool to help with collaboration, to help with cooperation. And now your brand, even though you're in university, is your name. You are your brand. So you have to build your brand. Your content on social media must be positive, encouraging, inspirational, creative, and innovative because you never know who's looking at you. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's considering to employ you in their company, and or if you have a startup and you want to start your own company, you have to make sure that you put your best digital foot forward so people can see your great potential. Fire for effect is in the environments that you're going to be working in, whether it's technology, whether it's education, whether it's AI, whether it's VR, whether it's cybersecurity. You're going to have to work together with people. You're going to have to collaborate with people. The word together has a phenomenal repercussions in that you're going to be working with multiple teams globally. So working with other people is key and important that you respect the diversity that is going on. Also using different models for AI. Now I'm going to cover ChatGPT, but there is Bard, there's GitHub, there's Copilot, Midjourney. There are tons of names out there and hundreds, if not close to thousands of AI resources. But I'm only going to focus on one, and that's going to be ChatGPT to get you up to speed on using and incorporating AI into not just the educational realm, but the business realm, where you're going to have to learn to ask questions, read the content that's given to you, cite your resources from ChatGPT, and also adapt and change those resources to fit your needs. Generative AI, machine learning, the development of blending human knowledge with machine knowledge and understanding is key and important because it's growing monthly from what it started out with. We know in our world now we have connected cars, our smart appliances in our homes, security systems, agricultural equipment that's helping the agricultural industry, retail stores ordering online, healthcare monitors that can intricately monitor every aspect of the human body, manufacturing, which is changing because of the advent of IoT, which is Internet of Things, which brings about the collaboration of human beings and technology working together. We're at the point now, if you watch certain videos in certain companies, that in warehouses, there are certain places that which are growing, humans cannot go into. Humans cannot cross a particular line because the machines are managing all of that. And unfortunately, there have been cases where humans have gone into the areas of the machines and been hurt, maimed, or even killed because the machine learning is programming the machines to do a particular function, and they're automatic. They do that function automatically. They're not looking for humans, they're not looking to be engaged with humans, but humans have to understand that there are limitations to what we can do when working with computers. So when you hear the term IoT, Internet of Things, that's very key and important to understand. That's the relationship of humans and technology. And our cities are becoming more and more connected. I love this graphic because of the beauty of a black man in technology. That's not to leave out black women, but as a black male educator and business owner, men understand that you do have a place in this area of technology. You do have a place of creativity. You do have a place of innovation. You do have a place of leadership. But also with that aspect, you have a responsibility to be a blessing to your family and help them to learn and grow. To be a blessing to help your home and those in your home or in your neighborhoods or in your communities to give back to your communities. Don't look at it as you're trying to get as much information in your brain and your resources and to make a lot of money. Money is fine, money is good, but what are you going to do to help those people around you? How are you going to be a blessing to your community? How are you going to uplift the next generation to as you age and you get older, who is going to help you or replace you or help you to grow your business? Because we can't do it anymore. I have several interns that work with me and several people that I'm bringing in with me as well, and my wife to help us with our business because we may have a lot of knowledge, but we don't know everything. So we are going to need help and assistance. And maybe one day you as students at Zetech University can be interns for us or also be hired as employees. So we're going to look at the social, local, mobile, and community connections and dynamics because all of our social engagements on social media are connected digitally. Most of that content does not go away. It's always there. So you have to be careful what you post on social media because it can influence your future careers and employment options and aspirations. Your local activities, what's going on here in Jacksonville and other cities. There's so much social engagement activities online that we're using tools to collaborate and connect and meet and talk and share. We cannot deny the physical aspects of getting together and the communities that we create and help each other, but we use those dynamic key parts of technology to unite and share and grow. Mobile adventures using our mobile devices, our smartphones, and I always like to say, um, as my wife and I, we are involved in different technology events. If we're particularly talking to youth, teens, and young adults, we have them repeat after us, and we get them to say, "This can be our best friend or worst enemy." Because the content that you post on your phones are broadcast to a global audience. And you never know who's going to connect with you, who's going to see your content, who is going to look at you and evaluate your ability to be a leader, your ability to be a learner, your ability to collaborate, or your ability to cooperate. Since 2021, Aida and I and our networks have grown from just locally and nationally here in Florida and states to a global platform working with One Africa Forum, where I am a board member on their board, where Aida and I, we are members of the World Metaverse Council, where I've been honored to be the World Metaverse Council Metaverse Education Program Director. We are part of ED3 DAO Online. We are part of Gatherverse Africa, where we attend conferences and we learn from others. We are part of other educational institutions and other educational um, parties and groups where we take what we learn and we share it with the global community as in WordPress and WordCamps. So there's other groups that we are with, and we'll get into that a little bit later because we want you as the students to be involved and engaged in that as well. Communication is a process. Africa is so diverse. My wife and I haven't been blessed to come to Africa yet. We're praying that the Lord opens up a financial door and opportunities for us to travel there and stay there for a couple of months and teach, work in ministry, to help people through education, through collaboration and teaching. But there's other aspects as far as web development, content creation, building with spatial galleries, social media, and the content that people should understand is very powerful and very influential. Looking at it again, hey, being on Mars, for example, using the metaverse, or being underwater in the oceans, excuse me, using technology. Looking at what is going on globally, looking at what is happening across the metaverse, supporting virtual reality, supporting augmented reality, supporting artificial intelligence, and learning and understand the processes of each, how our perceptions are skewed and how our perceptions are manipulated or changed or guided with the collaborative aspects of being on different technological formats and platforms. What can the metaverse do? Amazing collaboration, amazing cooperation, team building and projects and presentations, collaborations locally, nationally, and we love globally. The video here will take information to what is the metaverse and explain it in a simplistic way that is easy to understand and makes those connections about how we can all learn and grow. Resources, integration of educational, augmented reality, things that can be done not just with the headset, but also with your laptops as well. These are tools that are used, Victory XR, Engage VR, Spatial, Ready Player Me, also Sketchfab.com that can use as digital assets that can go on web pages or metaverse sites that we're going to be sharing during class. Hopefully, and I'm going to hold this up, headsets will be available in some form of fashion. We are in prayer that collaboration can be made with a company. We know that Meta, Microsoft, Apple, and other companies have developed different projects and programs to provide headsets. So as I slip this on and we go through this presentation, actively engage, we will be sharing content and information that is broadcast in headsets. But if a headset is not available, we will use laptops as well to be engaging in tablets and smartphones. Again, this is William Jackson, representing myself and my wife, Aida Jackson. This technology gives us creative freedom to learn. In my 33 years of teaching, it has been unfortunate in education that in many cases, unfortunately, creativity, innovation, um, the idea of out-of-the-box thinking, artistic abilities are not represented. Project development, project engagement is not encouraged. And those are key things that are needed in the creative process. The blending of imagination and dreaming and inspiration and the excitement for learning. One of the things that I started doing when I was younger, it was very challenging for me to read. My mother was a high school teacher. So instead of her racking her brain trying to figure out how am I going to help my son, my children be better readers, she allowed us to read comic books. So she brought that artistic element into our vision. So not only did we have words, which, you know, in comic books there's different words, but also the action, the adventure, the imagination, the inspiration, the creativity, the innovation within comic books and graphic novels that built our love for reading, that built our love for the arts, that built our love for the design thinking, design modeling, and project development. Also, part of that, she took us to museums. If there are local museums near you, please, please, please visit them and go and expand your mind in the arts. If there are libraries near you, no matter how big or how small, go to the libraries, visit the libraries, be engaging, volunteer. We're working on a project now called The Beauty of Books, dealing with culture, cultural backgrounds, and taking pictures of covers of books and putting them on a Metaverse site. And we'll cover that too during class, of how we're building a vision for literacy, reading, the development of comprehension and creativity in books and book design, and encouraging young writers to write their books, if not using words, but using pictures and stories. So all of these elements and opportunities are available to brothers and sisters across the dynamic continent of Africa and the African diaspora, which needs to be nurtured and grown and shared with the world. So this is William Jackson. Thank you for taking the time in these 30 minutes to listen to me talk about my passion and my wife's passion about what technology aspires to give you to do and open doors. We thank you. We're looking forward to our first class, which will be Thursday, February 1st. Eastern Standard Time, it would be 9 o'clock. And I believe East African time from Nairobi, Kenya, it will be 5 o'clock. But make sure you check those times. So God bless. Thank you very much for your time and your attention, and we will see you soon.